Greetings everybody, I'm Commander Great, CG for short. Recently, Donkey Kong Bonanza came out and I've been having an absolute blast playing it. So right now, me, Joe, Millie, Wally and his family are here at the Crowville Zoo to see if any of the monkeys would like to play with us. Hey monkeys, anyone down for some Donkey Kong?
Actually, CG, these are apes, not monkeys.
Huh?
Yeah, chimps are apes, not monkeys. You see, while both are primates, apes fall under the family Hominidae, whereas monkeys are typically classified in Cercopithecodia or Platrini, depending on their geographical origin.
Joe, this video is about the history of Donkey Kong.
I'm sorry.
Apes and monkeys are fucking funny, dude. I don't care what anyone says. Look at these guys. They're like little humans with fur that go ooh ooh ah ah and eat bananas. What is there not to love? Throughout the many decades of storytelling, us humans have always had some sort of primal desire to put a monkey in everything. Journey to the West, King Kong, The Flash,
Barack Obama,
Curious George, Planet of the Apes. If there's anything that these stories teach us, it's that the public loves monkeys. All you've got to do to make sure your product sells is put a monkey on it and people will go absolutely apeshit over it. That's why every single DC comic book in the 1970s had a gorilla on the cover. Like, literally every single comic book. It got kind of ridiculous after a while. But this is because people love monkeys. They go bananas over them. People always say sex sells, but I think they should change that expression to ape sells. Because they do. And in 1981, a little video game company called Nintendo took note of all this monkey madness going around, and they had a brilliant idea. Video game plus monkey. Ooh! So in 1981, with the help of a man named Shigeru Motomoto, they would create what would end up becoming one of the most iconic video games of all time, being Donkey Kong. Wait a minute, that's not a donkey. Donkey Kong took arcades by storm, changing the very idea of what video games could be for millions of people. No longer were you playing its abstract shapes that kinda look like a character if you squinted. No, here you played as an actual guy, facing off against an actual ape and rescuing an actual woman. And taking actual fall damage.
What the fuck? That kills you?
You could jump over stuff, you could climb up ladders, you could smash stuff with a powerful hammer. This game was incredibly well designed and incredibly addicting. People couldn't get enough of this game, with it getting a handheld Game & Watch version, as well as a bunch of merchandise like this really funny looking plush.
Hey, you, fuck you!
Along with two sequels, being Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3. Donkey Kong Jr. is actually a really fun follow-up to the original. Here, the roles are flipped, with Donkey Kong now being the one you have to save, with you taking control of his son, Donkey Kong Jr. It doesn't really play anything like the original, but it's still a lot of fun, with you climbing along on these vines to avoid enemies and unlock keys. However, when it comes to Donkey Kong 3, this one doesn't really do it for me. This one was done by a different team and goes for more of a Space Invaders type format, with you playing as Stanley the Bugman as you shoot Donkey Kong and his conky donk to send him to the top of the screen.
Wait, really? That's it? I beat it?
This one is just way too easy and the gameplay isn't really that exciting at all. And also, who the fuck is Stanley the Bugman?
Hey, put some respect on my name, man. Not everyone could be the next Mario Luigi.
Oh, Stanley, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Nah, don't worry, man. It's fine. It's all cool.
Yoko. Oh, walrus. Rachukara puto walrus.
He's asking if they can go see the other walruses.
Sure, go ahead.
Yoko.
Wait, are they walruses?
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm starting to doubt that more and more every day.
I thought they were called Wallies.
Hey, Commander Grid, it's me, Jeff Goldblum. Can you give me $40?
What the fuck?
Now, after the release of Donkey Kong 3, the series kinda went quiet for a bit. Donkey Kong was old news at this point, and people had kinda gotten tired of all the monkey-themed media that was around. I guess that's what 4 Planet of the Apes sequels does to you. So for a couple years there, Nintendo weren't really doing much with Donkey Kong other than, I don't know, Donkey Kong Jr. Math? The fuck is that?
It's a piece of fucking shit!
However, in 1994, that would all change with the release of Donkey Kong on the Game Boy. Don't worry, I'm getting to the other one in a bit. At face value, the game doesn't really seem like it would be anything too special. It just kind of looks like a port of the original arcade game with a few extra moves you can do. But in reality, the arcade levels are just the tutorial of what becomes a 100-level platforming extravaganza. This game goes so much beyond what the original arcade game was, to the point that it's barely even the same game anymore. While the original did have some minor puzzle elements, it was mostly a platformer. Here though, they really doubled down on the puzzle elements and turned the entire game into an incredibly fun puzzle platformer. And these are some really good puzzles too. There are a lot of times when you'll really need to stop and think for a while before continuing on, and that just makes it even more satisfying when you finally figure out the solution. Oh, I gotta put the key in the keyhole. This is really one of those hidden gems on the original Game Boy. It's surprisingly smooth to control and holds up really well even today, so I would actually really recommend this game. I mean, it's on Switch Online, you got no excuse not to play it. Go on, go play it right now. While you're still watching the video, go play the game.
Boss, we have a bit of a problem.
Now, for as fun as Donkey Kong 94 was, it never really managed to reach the same heights as the original arcade game. Most people still just saw Donkey Kong as some old, outdated game from the 80s. I mean, why would I want to care about Donkey Kong when I can be playing games like The Legend of Zelda, Sonic the Hedgehog, and... Jesus, dude, you don't have to yell in my ear. Well, Nintendo already had an answer prepared, and that answer would come in November of 1994, in the shape of a game. A game so revolutionary that it would change the way people look at Donkey Kong forever. A game that would not only change Nintendo, but change the entire gaming industry. A game that was quite rare. See what I did there? With the rare thing? Because the studio that made it was called Rare. Donkey Kong Country was a total reinvention of the Donkey Kong franchise. Being developed by the British studio Rareware, it got to have its own style that was different from anything that had come before. Yeah, bro, this ain't your grandpa's Donkey Kong. Fuck you, Cranky. This is the 90s, baby. Let's go! Wait, Cranky, what is that? Cranky, what are you doing? Ah! This game established a bunch of new characters, a new gameplay style, and a whole new country for Donkey Kong to live in. See, that's how dedicated the people who made this game were. They founded an entire country just for this game. And it's a real place, too. You can actually go there. I absolutely love this game. I just love the feeling of jumping out of your little house, killing a Kremling, and going to free Diddy.
It's not what you think!
This game is a 2D platformer to its core. While the older games definitely did have platforming elements, this one goes all the way with it, making what is, in my opinion, one of the greatest 2D platformers ever made. The way you control Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong in this game is just so buttery smooth. Jumping on enemies, collecting bananas, shooting yourself out of a barrel, it's all just so snappy and satisfying. I can't think of any 2D platformer where the movement feels this good. The game is also absolutely stunning. It was an incredible leap in graphics at the time, with pre-rendered 3D assets being used to give the game its iconic look, and honestly, I think the visuals still hold up to this day. Since the 3D assets were compressed to fit on the Super Nintendo, they're able to hide a lot of the imperfections that would usually come with early 3D graphics. And even when the game does look a little janky or outdated, it doesn't take you out of the experience. It just adds to the charm, which is what this game is full of. The lush jungles in the starting area with these secret little caves you can discover, the calm yet mysterious ambience of the water levels, the hectic excitement of the minecart levels, which is where you'll most likely give up on the game. God damn it! And dare I even mention the music? Holy shit, this fucking soundtrack, dude. I love this game to bits, and people at the time did too, with it becoming the fastest selling video game ever at the time. See what I talked about earlier? Ape sells! And in the years following, we would also get two sequels, being Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, and Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Jesus, those are long titles. Donkey Kong Country 2 actually does a really good job at expanding on the original. It picks up right after the first one ends, with you now playing as Diddy Kong on a quest to save Donkey Kong after he gets kidnapped by King K. Rool. Yeah, despite the title being Donkey Kong Country 2, you don't actually get to play as Donkey Kong in this game, with a new character named Dixie Kong being added in place of DK as Diddy's partner. As a kid, this really bothered me. Like, why can't I play as Donkey Kong? Come on, I want to play as Donkey Kong. He's the funny one. Look at him. Diddy Kong isn't funny. Come on now. There's absolutely zero jokes you can make about Diddy Kong.
I'm a diddy blood.
But don't let 8-year-old me turn you off from this game, because it's just as good as the original game, maybe even a little better in some parts. It basically takes everything that was great about the first game and just expands on it, adding a bunch of new mechanics, new locations, and a bunch of new banger songs. You know, Mozart has been real quiet since this dropped. It's also a lot harder than the first game, with some of these levels really taking quite a lot of skill to get through. Thank God for the rewind function on Nintendo Switch Online, because without it, I don't think I would have made it as far into the game as I did. But hey, if you're up for the challenge, then you can play it without the rewind. It's not impossible or anything, but just be prepared to die a lot. And I do mean a lot. God fucking damn it! Then of course, we also have Donkey Kong Country 3. Which I've never really gotten into. I don't know, every time I start it up and I'm greeted with that weird world map with the boat and those fucking bears, I just get kinda turned off from this game. Don't get me wrong, from what I've played, it's still a Donkey Kong Country game. It looks the same, it sounds the same, it controls kinda the same. I don't know, there's something off about the controls in this game that I can't quite put my finger on, but overall, it's pretty similar to the other games. But it doesn't really do anything new to justify itself. The first game was a huge step forward in gaming and changed the legacy of Donkey Kong forever. The second game upped the difficulty and went all out on the pirate theming, but the third game, I don't know, it just feels like more of the same. And on top of that, there's the fact that you don't even get to play as Diddy Kong in this game. Instead, you get Dixie Kong and Kiddy Kong. Fucking Kiddy Kong! I hate you, Kiddy Kong. How dare you stand where he stood? At some point, I would definitely like to dive deeper into this game and play it through to the end, because at the end of the day, it is still a Donkey Kong Country game, and from what I've played so far, I've definitely enjoyed it, but it just doesn't have that same charm and staying power as those other games did, even if it is still a good game. But Jesus Christ, Kiddy Kong is such a lame fucking character.
Stop crying!
After the Donkey Kong Country games finished up on the SNES, Rare started looking for where to take the series next. Between the release of the Donkey Kong Country games, they would also release spin-off games on the Game Boy in the form of the Donkey Kong Land series. These are obviously heavily downgraded, but they weren't too bad for what they were. Sure, they weren't as smooth to control and were a lot more, well, green, but they still did a decent job of putting the gameplay of the Donkey Kong Country series on a handheld. Around this time, there was also a 3D animated Donkey Kong Country TV show. The show used motion capture to bring the characters to life, and it looked completely flawless and not weird at all.
Hey, yo, look out down below. Here comes Banana Slammer.
See bananas when I look in your eyes. I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
What did he say?
I'm not watching this show, I refuse. The only reason I would ever watch it would be if I was locked in a prison and it was the only thing to watch.
Snip, snip, gonna clip. Make you my sweet and sexy chimp.
Stop it. Get some help.
Ah, so this must be the gorilla enclosure.
What makes you say that?
I don't know. Just a guess.
I don't think this one likes me.
What? No, I'm sure it's just curious. Just look at that innocent little face.
CG, are you sure it's safe for Millie to be out here like this? If anyone finds out she's an alien, then...
Don't worry, Joe. She's got her human disguise on. No one's gonna suspect anything.
I think this gorilla might be suspecting it.
What makes you say that?
Just a guess.
Now, what Rare were really looking for was that next big leap, that next Nintendo console that would flip the way they made games completely on its head, which would of course come in 1996 with the release of the Nintendo 64.
Whoa! Look at this shit. This is gonna change the game, man. Look at Mario, bro. He's so three-dimensional. It's like I could reach through the screen and pinch his nose. I can!
The Nintendo 64 was Nintendo's first 3D console. It was Nintendo's first 3D console. It completely changed the way people made games, with its landmark title Super Mario 64 going on to sell over 11 million copies and became one of the greatest games of all time. Okay, I'll skip the history lesson. You all know this shit already. Let's talk about Donkey Kong 64.
Okay!
Donkey Kong 64 brought the series into full 3D. While the previous games had always dabbled in 3D with pre-rendered graphics, this time there was no foolery going on. What you see is what you get. Why does he look like that? It follows the same formula as other 3D collectathons from the time, like Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. The levels are made up of these big areas with a bunch of goodies you need to collect, like golden bananas, banana medals, banana fairies, blueprints, boss keys, battle crowns, yellow bananas, red bananas, blue bananas. This is what the game is most infamous for, the sheer amount of stuff you need to collect. It seems like whenever people talk about this game these days, they always talk about how needlessly big it is. But isn't having a lot of content in a game a good thing? Why would anyone complain about that? Well, the game seems pretty straightforward at the start. King K. Rool kidnaps Donkey Kong's friends and steals his banana hoard while planning to destroy Donkey Kong's island with a big laser. Classic video game setup, right? Well, to defeat K. Rool, Donkey Kong is gonna need to free this big crocodile called K. Lumsy from this big cage. But to do that, you need 8 boss keys which can be found in each world by defeating a boss. But to get to the boss, you need to get through this door, which can only be opened if this fat hippo weighs more than this fat pig so that he can be pushed up and open the door. But to do that, you're gonna need to feed the hippo a certain amount of bananas which can be found scattered about in every world. However, each banana is color-coded to a specific Kong. For example, Donkey Kong can only collect yellow bananas, and Diddy Kong can only collect red bananas. And each of the 5 playable characters has their own color-coded bananas that only they can collect. So if you run into some purple bananas while you're playing as Diddy Kong, you're gonna need to switch to Tiny Kong. But switching characters isn't something you can just do with the press of a button. No, scattered throughout the worlds are these barrels where you can change the character you're playing as. However, the barrels aren't always where you want them to be, so you're gonna need to do a whole lot of backtracking in this game just so you can get to the barrel and switch characters to collect the amount of bananas you need. And on top of that, each character has their own projectile that they can shoot, which is required to get through certain areas, which can only be acquired by giving 3 Banana Bunch coins to Funky Kong, who for some reason has now turned into a gun-obsessed lunatic who sells firearms to children. Don't ask where Funky Kong was on January 6th. Each character also has their own special abilities, which, by the way, aren't unlocked at the start. You need to visit Cranky, who's now apparently a mad scientist, where if you give him 3 coins, he'll brew a potion that can give you new abilities like shrinking or inflating yourself like a deviant ROC. And on top of that, each character also has their own individual instruments which are required to get through certain areas. And to get them, you need to purchase them from Candy Kong, who was designed by someone who has a thing for monkey tits. And also Wrinkly Kong is fucking dead! So yeah, pretty good game. I give it a 6 out of 10. After the release of Donkey Kong 64, Rare was at the top of their game. They had a bunch of new games in development, including a Donkey Kong racing game that they showed off during E3 2001, set for release in 2002. Wow, that looks so much fun! I can't wait to play it! Oh no. Oh no! Oh no!
The company that bought Rare is Microsoft.
Fuck! Right when Rare was at the top of their game, they got bought up by Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft, where games go to die. This killed pretty much all ties between Nintendo and Rare, which of course meant that Rare couldn't make any more Donkey Kong games, and that just really sucks. Rare was responsible for reviving the Donkey Kong series when it was at its most irrelevant, and all throughout the 90s, Donkey Kong was finally seen as an equal to Mario and Zelda. But without Rare, the future of the series seemed uncertain. Was Nintendo gonna hire another studio to make Donkey Kong games? Were they gonna make them on their own? What was gonna happen to poor old Donkey Kong? What? Drum? Fuck do you mean drum? These are the DK bongos, also known as Donkey Kong's entire fucking identity in the 2000s. There were 4 games developed with the use of these bongos in mind. But what exactly are the DK bongos, or dongos as I like to call them? It's a drum. How the fuck did they make 4 whole games for this thing? First off, we got... Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Donkey Konga is basically a rhythm game in the style of Taiko no Tatsujin, where you drum to the beat of various songs. Except instead of cute Japanese mascots, you get Donkey Kong slapping to the beat of All-Star by Smash Mouth. Hey now, you're an all-star, get your game on, go play. Now, why would you play this over literally any other rhythm game? Well, it's got Donkey Kong in it. Genius, I'll take your entire stock. I want 2 sequels right now. Wait, no, I was joking. Now, when you look at these bongos, what's the type of game you can imagine playing on them? Well, just rhythm games, right? Well, if you thought that, then you're stupid, because Nintendo decided to develop a platformer for them. Donkey Kong Jungle Beat released in 2004 and brought Donkey Kong back to the platforming genre. Oh, so this is like the Donkey Kong Country games then? Well, I mean, they both have Donkey Kong. That's pretty much the only similarities. This game is very different from the country games. While it is a 2D platformer, it doesn't really bring back anything from the Rare games. No more Diddy, no more Cranky, no more Kremlings, no more Monkey Tits. Instead, we get Ghastly Kong. And Ninja Kong. Why the fuck do these designs go so hard? Is this Donkey Kong or fucking Dragon Ball Z? This was definitely an attempt from Nintendo to try and distance themselves from the Rare version of Donkey Kong, but that just makes it feel like it's barely even a Donkey Kong game in the first place. It's also just kinda ugly. It suffers from the same problem as Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where they were trying to go for a more realistic art style, but it just leads to everything looking really washed out and bland. Gone are the beautiful and atmospheric levels of the country games. Here, everything is just really overly detailed and loud. However, if you look past those issues and treat it like its own thing, it's actually pretty fun. So I've heard, at least. I don't actually have this game. It's like $200. This was the weird era of Donkey Kong. Nintendo tried a bunch of different stuff with the character, like Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is basically a sequel to the Game Boy game. There was King of Swing, Jungle Climber, Barrel Blast. What are we even doing anymore? What is this? It seemed like all Nintendo ever wanted to do was make Donkey Kong spin-offs, and while some of them were definitely decent games, none of them were really able to fill that Donkey Kong-shaped hole in all our hearts. We just wanted Donkey Kong to go back to what made his games so much fun in the first place. No more rhythm games or handheld spin-offs or color-coded bananas. We wanted to go back to the 90s when DK was on the top of the world. We wanted a Donkey Kong Country return.
Say that again?
Rago yoko basabo ko tabaliko.
Iko. Hey! Stop right there, you narwhals.
Walrus?
I don't know how you guys got here, but you're all wild animals and a danger to everyone at this zoo.
Into.
If you take one more step, we will shoot you. Fire! Huh?
During E3 of 2010, Reggie would finally deliver the news that we had all been waiting for. Donkey Kong Country returns for the Nintendo Wii. Holy shit, now this is how you revive a game series. Donkey Kong Country Returns was the perfect return to form for Donkey Kong. Starting the game, you already feel at home. Ah, Donkey Kong, it's so good to see you, man. I'm so glad you're in a game without bongos. The game was developed by Retro Studios, the same people behind the Metroid Prime games, and they really did an amazing job at capturing the magic of those old Rare games while still injecting their own style and ideas. And all your favorite characters are back, like Diddy, Cranky. Okay, that's pretty much the only returning characters, but that's still more than Jungle Beat. Yeah, people's main complaint about this game is that it kind of ignored a lot of things from the older games. DK used to have a whole family of kooky characters that you could run into, like Funky Kong, Candy Kong, Chained Kong. We don't talk about Chained Kong. But here they're nowhere to be found. Even most of the animal buddies are gone, with only Rambi returning from the old games. All we got now is DK, Diddy, Cranky, Rambi, Squawks, and this fucking pig.
Fuck you.
There's not even anything wrong with him, I just think he has a very punchable face. Not even the Kremlings return, instead being replaced by the Tiki Tak tribe. And now I'm about to say the most controversial thing I'm ever gonna say on this channel. I actually think the Tikis are pretty cool. I don't know what the big fuss about these guys are. Every time I hear people talk about them online, they always talk about how lame and forgettable they are and how much better the Kremlings were. And like, yeah, the Kremlings are obviously better, but you're acting like the Tikis fucked your wife and killed your dog. I don't know, I think they're kinda cool. I really like their designs and how they're supposed to resemble musical instruments. And speaking of, they have an absolute banger theme. Overall, despite some minor issues, Donkey Kong Country Returns was still received incredibly well and went on to sell over 6 million copies, becoming one of the most beloved games on the Nintendo Wii. It really was a true return to form for Donkey Kong. It proved that Retro Studios were more than capable of carrying this franchise moving forward, because this truly was a great game. In fact, it was so great that they released it 5 different times. Now, DK's comeback didn't just end with Returns, because in 2014, we would also get a sequel on the Wii U called Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Now, Returns was already a beloved game, but when Tropical Freeze came along, it said,
"Anything you can do, I can do better."
This game takes the feel and gameplay style of Returns and just takes it to the next level. It's a lot more challenging, but it's still fair, with level designs that fit perfectly with the way DK moves. The pure sense of speed and momentum you can achieve in this game is really something to behold, especially when you combine it with the additional characters. Diddy Kong works pretty much exactly like he does in Country Returns, but now you also have the additions of Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong. Dixie Kong works pretty similar to Diddy, with the difference being that you can get a little extra boost in the air, which allows you to perform some really cool platforming tricks that you can't do otherwise. And with Cranky, you're able to use this cane to bounce around like Scrooge McDuck from the DuckTales game, as well as jumping on spikes and other hazardous objects. These extra characters really add a lot to the game, even if Cranky and Dixie are infinitely better than Diddy in every single way and there's basically no reason to ever pick him. Yeah, they probably should have added something extra to Diddy's moveset to make him a bit more interesting in this game. Like, why not bring back his peanut guns from DK64 or something? Come on, justice for Diddy. I hope I'm not on some kind of list now for saying that. Here, the big bad are these penguin Vikings called the Snowmads, and even though I actually quite like the Tikis from Returns, these guys are definitely a lot more fun. They turn DK's island into a snow-covered wasteland, sending DK and his friends flying off to a far-off island with them needing to find their way back home. I really like this setup. It makes you feel like you're on a grand quest to reclaim your island, so when you finally make your way back and you beat the Snowmads, it feels really satisfying. I mean, look at this. DK just fucking killed that guy. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze took everything that was great about Returns and perfected it. That, combined with the sheer amount of creative levels and great ideas that are on display here, makes it my personal favorite 2D game in the series. It's that good. Which is why the following decade with no new Donkey Kong games is so strange. Yeah, after releasing the greatest game in the series, Nintendo and Retro just went, yeah, let's not make any new Donkey Kong games ever. All we got on the Nintendo Switch was a re-release of Tropical Freeze and Returns, as well as a remake of the first Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. And like, yeah, sure, this is a good game and all, but what we really wanted was another country game. But without one in sight, it seemed like DK kinda started to fade back into irrelevancy. No. This can't be! We just got you out of the Dark Ages! Don't leave us again, DK! No! Come back! Don't leave us! Oh god. He's really gone. He's really gone forever this time. There's never gonna be another Donkey Kong game ever again! Wait, what's this?
You're as beautiful as a day I lost you.
Finally, after a decade of waiting, we have a new Donkey Kong game, being Donkey Kong Bonanza on the Nintendo Switch 2. When this game got revealed during the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation in April, I was completely taken aback. I think everybody expected a new 3D Mario game to get revealed, so to instead get a new 3D Donkey Kong game was a pretty big surprise to me, especially since we hadn't gotten one since 1999. Now, I was definitely super excited for this game. It looked absolutely incredible, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed that it wasn't a new 3D Mario game. Turns out, however, I was a fucking idiot for thinking that, because holy shit, this game is fucking incredible! 10 out of 10, Game of the Year, what the fuck? From the start of the game, Donkey Kong Bonanza already establishes itself that it's not here to fuck around. As soon as I got control of Donkey Kong and started punching away at the terrain, all my worries disappeared. Oh, it's that kind of game. Almost everything in your path is destructible. This is destructible, that's destructible, this wall. Now that's what I'm talking about! The destruction in this game is at the core of the gameplay. Donkey Kong is a big monkey, and he can use his big monkey strength to destroy absolutely everything in his path. And I mean everything. The walls, the ground, the rocks, even the NPCs. Oh god, what have you done, DK? That guy had a family! Never before in a game has it felt this good to just destroy everything. It's basically like the video game version of a rage room, only instead of one room, it's the entire fucking world. I almost feel bad for destroying all these levels like this. Nintendo spent so much time designing all these places, and here I am completely destroying them as a big dumb monkey with the biggest fucking grin on my face. This is how Donkey Kong Bonanza makes you feel. The Mario Odyssey DNA is flowing straight through this game. From the way the camera's positioned, to the way NPCs talk, to the way the game is formatted, it's all incredibly reminiscent of Mario Odyssey, and after playing this game, I no longer want Mario Odyssey 2. Because I already have it right here. This game not only reaches the same heights as Odyssey, but it exceeds them. It's surprisingly a lot more focused on its story than Mario Odyssey was. Sure, it's not anything too special, but it does manage to keep you engaged and wondering what's gonna happen to the characters. At the start of the game, DK finds this little rock called Oddrock, who's not voiced by Zach Hadel.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Minecraft.
Is that your like...
Redbubble.com and buy our shirts. Steal your parents' credit card.
Oddrock decides to follow DK while he searches for bananas. However, it's later revealed that it's actually not a rock at all, but rather a human girl named Pauline. Yeah, that Pauline. Does this totally mess up the timeline? Yeah, but is she still a really fun inclusion that makes the game better? Well, yeah, absolutely. The relationship that DK builds with Pauline in this game is just really cute. She'll sit on your shoulder and give commentary over what you're doing, as well as pointing out when there's a banana or an apple near. It's also really cool to see her development throughout this game. She starts out very shy and anxious, being very nervous to sing in front of people, but as the game progresses, you see her slowly start to gain more and more confidence, and at the end, she's not even doubting herself for a second. It's really cool to see that kind of character development in this game. Turns out that Pauline was sealed inside the rock by a group of evil Kongs called Void Company. They are on their way to the planet Core, where a mystical object called the Bonandium Gem will be able to grant any wish. The race is then on between Void Company and DK and Pauline for who can reach the planet Core first. Throughout the game, you travel between different layers of the Earth on your way to the planet Core, encountering many different kooky characters and large expansive worlds. It's got an incredible sense of scale that really makes the game feel like a cinematic journey. Each layer basically acts like the different kingdoms in Mario Odyssey, where you'll find new gameplay mechanics and NPCs that'll help you out along your quest. Sometimes you also run into these elders, which is where you can unlock your Bonanza power-ups. If you thought Donkey Kong was overpowered in his base form, then think again, because these Bonanza powers turn him into a fucking Super Saiyan. These are all super fun to use, and they allow you to do some crazy shit. So crazy, in fact, that it feels like you're breaking the game sometimes. It's incredible how Nintendo managed to cram this much content into this one game. It's a lot longer than Mario Odyssey. With that game, I was able to beat it in the span of a single weekend, but this one actually took me quite a while to complete. There were so many times in this game where I thought I was getting to the end, but it just kept going, and going, and going. It throws so many twists and surprises at you. At the end, I didn't even know what to expect anymore, but it just got better and better. It's dragged out, but in the best way possible. Even after beating what I thought was the final boss, it was still able to throw surprises at me, and I was just smiling like an idiot the whole way through. But when it finally did end, I just sat back in my chair and watched the credits roll. I didn't even know what to say. This game feels like something that shouldn't even exist, but it does. And man, am I happy it does. Donkey Kong Bonanza is better than Mario Odyssey, there's no doubt about it. And since Mario Odyssey is one of my favorite games of all time, that of course means that Donkey Kong Bonanza is now one of my favorite games of all time as well, which makes it my favorite Donkey Kong game of all time. Holy shit, what a return for Donkey Kong. This game is everything I could have ever wanted from a new 3D Donkey Kong game. It's incredibly satisfying to control, it's got amazing graphics, a heart-touching story, great villains, and a soundtrack that'll keep you jamming out for days after finishing the game. After years of silence, Donkey Kong is finally back from yet another dark age. Just like Country Returns and the original Donkey Kong Country before it, Donkey Kong Bonanza brings DK into a new generation, showing him in a way that we've never seen him before. From the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s to the 2010s and now the 2020s, Donkey Kong has consistently shown that he's more than just some forgotten arcade game from the 80s. He is an all-time video game icon, and I'm so excited for the future of this franchise. I give Donkey Kong Bonanza a 10 out of 10. Game of the fucking year.
We're breaking through, down to the core. No stopping us, not anymore. Inside the storm, I found the key. Your beat sprang out, my voice has been released. Hear it call, it's whispering truth. This melody in harmony will strike a chord that's gonna break us free.
Monkey.
CG, I'm scared. CG.
Huh?
Hey, stop right there, fucker!
Bello.
I'm Officer Blanco from the Crowville Police Force. You are under arrest for the murder of 3 people, son of a bitch.
Yeah, so like, up with your hands or whatever.
Beruchal moki pokatu.
I don't know what the fuck that means, but you're still under arrest, hijo de gran puta.
Yeah, bitch.
Don't you dare! If you take one more step back, I will shoot you, rehuerca leche! Katrina, no, you fucking bastard! Desgraciada perra de hijo puta! Desgraciada mamá hueva!
Yo too. Huh? To the boys?
You know, maybe it wasn't a good idea to go to the zoo.
Yeah, we should probably get going. Wait, where's Millie?
She's probably fine.